This is a pin for a Harbor Freight backhoe trencher, and it comes with these flush grease fittings. The fitting is sealed by a ball bearing pushed up by a spring. I've read that you can successfully grease these fittings using one of these grease injector needles, but I didn't have much luck with that when I tried, so I decided to swap out to standard Zerk fittings. One downside of this swap is the flush fittings are actually more ideal because you're less likely to damage them if you run the trencher into things like trees. But for me, the convenience of the standard Zerk fittings outweighed that, and if I break one off, I can always just install another one. To do the swap, start by drilling out the brass top of the existing fitting. You want to go a little at a time and check as you go until the ball bearing pops out. Go slow and gentle here. One time I was too aggressive and I ended up actually pushing the ball down into the pin to the point where it got jammed, and it was a huge pain to fix. With the ball released, drill a little more of the brass away and then work to pull the internal spring out. Next up, we're going to continue drilling, preparing for the tap we're going to use to make the threads for the Zerk fitting. I used a M10 tap because I was dealing with M10 Zerk fittings, and the drill bit size I used to match that, the closest I had in standard, was a 23/64-inch drill bit. In terms of the depth, I just kind of eyeballed it based on the depth of the Zerk fitting. And by the time you're done with this, you shouldn't see any more of that brass bushing. You should just see the steel of the pin. To tap the hole, I used some oil and just worked slowly, threading the tap forwards and backwards as I went. With the tapping complete, I just hit it with some compressed air just to clean things up, get rid of any remaining metal shards, and then applied some Loctite to the Zerk fitting and screwed it into the new hole. Just to make sure everything was working smoothly before I put it back on the machine, just ran a little bit of grease and saw that it was working as expected.